A lot about interfaces and what makes the most sense in my arcade cabinet. And, I've kind of come to the conclusion that I can streamline Big Blue's menu interface a lot more, or at least provide, the options to streamline it a lot more. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about here. So here we have, if I press escape or whichever key I bound it to, I have a menu, and I can say I want to return to the front end, or I can say I want to exit or shut down or restart or whatever. But when you really think about it, once you have an arcade cabinet set up, you don't want to give people a lot of options to mess around with the machine. You don't necessarily want them to be able to turn the machine off or restart the machine or drop back to the Windows desktop. So I already have an interface that effectively lets you control this stuff anyway. I mean, if you exit, I have the confirmation here that you can stop. So I have a way to exit out or back out of a shutdown. So this is what I decided to do on the front end. In the Big Blue config, if you go into options now and into control options, I have an option to disable the menu, to just get rid of the menu. So that basically means that when somebody's in there, even if they press like the exit game button on your arcade cabinet, it won't bring up the menu in Big Blue. And so the next question is, okay, well, I don't have a menu anymore. How do I get out of this thing? So what I've done is I've added direct shortcuts to those functions that you can bind. So if I add an input, I'm just going to select one of these new options. See, I have these new options now: quit to desktop, restart, or shut down. So if I bind quit to desktop to like the N key in the keyboard, whatever, it doesn't matter, but this could be anything. This is basically going to let you have an arcade cabinet where maybe you have a hidden button, maybe there's a button on the back of the cabinet or something, essentially the quote-unquote power button, and that is really what you're going to push to choose whether you want to turn that sucker off. And I kind of like this because it does give you like a really seamless, like really, not computery at all interface. So when I have it like this, if I run Big Blue, you can see I'm pressing the escape key, and I'm not getting the menu. Nothing's happening. But so now if I press the N key, it's just going to pop straight towards the exit confirmation prompt. So there you go. And I can interrupt it like normal. Everything's the same. So basically, I can just jump straight to it. And you could even do something where like maybe you just have a wireless keyboard or something hanging around, and that you just press something on that to turn off the computer or whatever. But this basically makes the cabinet completely and absolutely kid-proof. A kid cannot bring this thing down when you have a setup like this, because there's really nothing they can do anymore. They can't accidentally restart it. They can't accidentally shut it down. The worst they can do is exit a game prematurely, but what's the big deal? So yeah, I think this really finally puts the button on all the interface issues. And also, if you were going to do a kind of kiosk thing, or if you were going to like make a cabinet and bring it to a convention or something and just have it on display, you wouldn't really want to let people turn off the machine in that kind of an environment. So this just gives you the extra tools you need to lock down your cabinet and prevent people from screwing around with it. So I think, it's optional. You don't have to use it. You don't have to disable the menu, but you have the option to do it now. And now you have these new hotkeys, so you could just directly map, inputs to shut down the machine, restart the machine, or drop to the Windows desktop. And the nice thing about this, I'll go back into the config here, is you could do this with any device even. So here, for example, I did the N key, but there's nothing stopping me from saying, well, I don't know, what do I have my rumble pad as? I'm gonna grab my gamepad here. And my gamepad is the first direct input device. So I could I just did a button on my joystick or gamepad rather. See, so we don't care. You know, you can bind Quit to Desktop, that hotkey, to any of your devices, a mouse button, you know, anything. So yeah, I mean that's another thing somebody could do. You know, they could just have like a wireless mouse, and you know the thumb button or the thumb wheel button or something on the wireless mouse could be the input that's going to you know, quit back to the desktop. So somebody could just have a wireless mouse and just go, okay, boom, now I'm going to turn off my cabinet. So it's just more capability there.